Opening night for the 2018 Southside Film Festival here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania is now in the history books. And they could not have come out, figured out a more perfect way. Thank you to nature for allowing this, by the way. And I'm not talking about the party. That was another review already done. I'm talking about the movie and the way they did it. They could not have pulled it off more perfectly. No joke. The movie was at the drive-in, a documentary about the Mahoney Drive-In in Pennsylvania. One of the oldest drive-ins still in existence in the entire country, with the biggest screen in the entire country. The way they did this, I'll get to the movie review shortly. The way they did the movie, though, they actually did it not inside. Thankfully, nature cooperated. Beautiful, gorgeous evening to watch a movie outdoors. I don't know about anybody else, but for myself, sitting there at times, I felt like I was in a drive-in. The way they did it, big screen, folding chairs in the parking lot outdoors, parking lot lights out, and I think this effect was intentional, to make you feel like you were actually at a drive-in movie. I've only been to a drive-in one time in my life, years ago. Becky's driving, my belated wife talked me into it. It was a cool experience. So, just the way they set this up for the opening night for the film festival could not have been more perfect or better planned or executed. There's an excellent turnout for it, as you can tell by the photos, for both the party and the film. Both with people attending the film festival, with film creators and people involved with various films there, and with the media. Excellent overall turnout overall. But just I still think, like, if you can see the look on my face, it's like, yeah, they really nailed this one to perfection. Seriously. The weather, thankfully, nature gave everyone a gorgeous evening. Except when the wind kicked up, it wasn't too cold, it wasn't too hot. Beautiful cloudlet, beautiful night. Perfect. Okay, now on to the movie review. Right off, I'm going to tell you, I'm not a fan of documentaries. Most of them, at least. It really has to catch my interest and attention for me to watch a documentary and be something I'm really hardcore interested in. It's because most documentaries follow the same pattern and the same style when they do it. Well, as you can tell with the magazine, that, guess what? Uncut, unedited, unscripted photojournalism. They did, obviously, it's a movie they had to edit, but I loved it. Actually, Michael Gutowski does his own thing, and who has something, is involved in the movie industry in the film industry from, I think it's the review side. I didn't have a chance to ask him. Sat down next to me, and at the end of the movie, we discussed it. I feel like Siskel and Ebert. But anyway. And I pointed out, I said, okay, this is what I liked about this. There was one thing I really didn't like about the movie. I'll get to that shortly. But this was pretty much raw, unscripted, unedited, even with the questions, documentary. It was a lot more of the true photo and film movie journalism style than it was an actual film. This is something where you, like I said, the way you experience with the magazine. I loved it. I ended up loving this. Through the movie, it's like I kept wanting more. What are they going to say next? What part are they going to do next? They gave there was presented a history of the drive-ins, even from the technical side of. Even from the technical side, the projectors, etc. But they also followed the drive-in through one season. So there was an actual natural progression of the timeline. Worked perfectly. The people in it were, you know, you can tell, okay, these aren't actors, these are actual people. We're not doing, you know, some kind of representation here. This is a real story. The only thing I did not like about it was, there were two things, and one of them is actually a joke. It was actually funny and it's a joke. Two things I didn't like about it. Number one, there was one gentleman in there that they had in the movie. They had him on way too much. They put too much focus on him. And point blank, the guy was pretty much a dick in an ass after a while. The way his comments and everything, the way he was acting. What I was hoping for, and what I would love to have seen, was a few more people who, wow, you know, we've been coming here for 10 years, you know, and telling their stories. It's the only improvement I could have made, main improvement that I could have made for the movie. The second one, which is actually funny, which is actually a joke, and it's to lighten everything up. Excuse me, throat's getting dry. The closing night, they could have shown a little bit more of what the closing night was like. The Halloween camp out. I want to see a little bit more of that. You know what I mean? What can I say? Personal preference, personal taste. Okay? But other than that, this is an excellent movie. It's an excellent movie to take your family to, especially your kids. It's a great movie. The reason why I say take your kids to it is, especially if you have a kid that's into film and loves to watch movies, this is one of the movies that they must see. And the reason why I'm saying that, I'm getting to this point right now, I promise, is that it will teach them part of the history of the film and movie industry. Going back decades, not going back, oh wow, well they used to do everything on film and, you know, now they do it digitally. No, going back decades to when drive-ins were like the main theater everybody went to, if I remember my history correctly. So at the drive-in, both from the documentary side, the way it was presented, the way it was filmed, I completely 100% loved the concept. I might be partial because of the way I do the magazine, but oh well. From as far as the people in the movie, and the people, you know, the fact that they chose Mahoning, Pennsylvania, the Mahoning Drive-In, loved it. It also shows the history of this state to a point. The people in it did a fantastic job. You know, even the way, apologize, but the way they were in front of the camera, the way, except for one, they didn't play up the camera, they just acted like they normally do. It also broke up the serious tone of the movie at times. The only downside to the entire movie was they've had too much focus on one person who, like I said, point blank, the guy acted like a dick in an ass, especially towards the end of the movie. At the drive-in, you know I don't do a rating system. Definitely take your family out to see it. It is worth your time, it is worth your money, and especially take your kids to see it because it shows them part of the history of the film and movie industry, an essential and integral part of the film and movie industry. Check out the movie, see it. I could be wrong, it may not be your taste. But even if you're not really into documentaries, it's still worth it because it's not your typical boring documentary film style. So, out. But anyway, that wraps up this. Things are about to get live. We're on the Hill Bridge. Please go to Thanks to Sponsors page. Support those people and businesses. Without them, Without their financial support, none of this could happen for the magazine. Nothing at all. To everybody out there, without you, it couldn't happen either because there'd be no point to it. Thanks to everybody out there for all the feedback, the pages, etc. You're the second half of what keeps it going. Always remember, take some time out of your crazy hectic lives. Take some time out for your family and friends, even for yourself. And remember, we get one shot every moment of this. Make it count, make it one to remember. Make it everyone one to remember. Stay safe, everyone.